Alright, hey guys, Time Dazzler here. Happy holidays. Hope everybody has a happy Christmas and happy New Year's. In today's build video, I'm going to be sharing with you everything stemmed in. What I run in no CP, in CP, in Battlegrounds. A lot of people have been PMing me in game asking me what I run, and I've been asking me on Twitch as well, so I just thought that I would make this video for everybody. So, in this video, like I said, we're going to be talking about 3 different builds in one. One of them is going to be for no CP open world, so that's South of Sail if you're in NA. One of them is going to be for no CP Battlegrounds, as everybody knows, Battlegrounds are no CP now, once again. And then the final one is going to be for CP open world. So with that said, I recommend that you do not skip around in the video. You're going to be confused on why the gear and the skills are changing as the video goes on. So just watch the video from the beginning and go from there. Alright, so we're going to start with the race. I am a red guard. I think that red guard is the best for my playstyle. It's giving you max stamina regen, and stamina return on melee attacks. We are using 2 melee weapons that's going to be proccing all the time. If you don't have red guard, the next best race I would say is probably Imperial. Max health is really good for no CP. Let's talk about the food. We are using Artaeum, takeaway broth. If you don't have Artaeum, you can use where is it? Dubious Cameron Throne. Artaeum gives you a little bit more health regen, which is not that important since we're not an orc or a Khajiit, so we don't get that health regen passive. Mundus, we always use Warrior. Increase our weapon damage. We're gonna have a lot of sustain from other means, so you don't really need Serpent or whatever. So the race, the food, and the Mundus aren't gonna be changing for the 3 different builds. Okay, so this is gonna be our no CP open world Stamden build. Let's start with the gear. We are running 2 blood spawn, both in pen, both medium. I think blood spawn is really good in no CP. The stamina regen that you get for no CP, since stamina regen is going to be lower, is really good. Also, the ultimate gain is going to be really good, and we'll talk more about that later. The next set is Spriggans. Spriggans has been buffed this patch, considering that it now works versus shields. So most Magicka classes previously, Spriggans would not work. It wouldn't like do additional damage against their damage shields, but now shields inherent your physical resist, so Spriggans now works versus that as well. So that's kind of like an indirect buff to Spriggans in my opinion. We also have Spriggans on the jewelry. Everything's infused, 2 stamina recovery, 1 infused weapon damage. And then the final set is going to be Hunding's Rage. Now, why Hunding's Rage? So I have tried many different sets. I've tried 7th Legion, I've tried Impreg, I've tried Clever Alp, I've tried Ravager, and I like Hunding's Rage the best in no CP. Reason being is the double weapon crit was buffed a couple patches ago, that it gives you, like, I believe 45% more or 55% more of the base value of the stat. So you're getting more weapon crit. It's basically more bang for your buck. And weapon crit is really strong in no CP because there's lower in-pen values. You can't get as high in-pen from CP. So your crits are going to be hitting really hard. So the double weapon crit bonus on Hundings is giving you 8% weapon damage. Or sorry, 8% weapon critical. We also have 2 daggers. 1 Nirnhone, 1 Precise. This is giving us 10% weapon critical for having 2 daggers with the dual wield passive. The Glyphs are Disease for Major Defile and Shock for minor vulnerability. Let me just water. For minor vulnerability. Back bar, we have an infused weapon damage glyph and an in-pen shield with max stam. So like I was saying, Hundings in no CP. So you'll notice that both of these sets I have my damage up front. I'm not rolling a dice, I'm not waiting for a proc to get my damage, I'm not drinking a potion, I have it all up front. And that's really good on a Stamden. Okay, let's talk about the skills. So starting out, we have Subterranean Assault. Bread and butter, gives us 5 seconds of major fracture. Previously 10, but that's alright. Still a very strong skill. Next we have our Magic of Flex. I'm currently using Leeching Vines. I'll talk more about Leeching Vines here in a bit. We have Cutting Dive as our spammable. This was buffed as well. The stamina cost was reduced by 25%. It's really, really cheap. 41 meters. Great spammable. It also gives us our class passive. When you hit a target with it, you're gaining half of that, so about 750 health, which not a lot of people know about, and you're also gaining ultimate as well. Okay, we have Steel Tornado, really, really strong. Still the best execute in the game, in my opinion, even with the introduction of major evasion changes, giving you 25% AoE reduction. It still hits really hard. It's still great for multiple people. It's great for 1vx. There's nothing better. Okay, obviously Shuffle. We are in medium armor, 5 medium, 2 heavy. Shuffle removes snares for 2.5 seconds. Now, why Shuffle and why not Forward Momentum? Well, forward momentum, as we know, was cut in half recently, so it went from 8 seconds to 4 seconds. So that's kind of like an indirect buff to Shuffle, because Shuffle was the only other way to get snare removal unless you're a Stam DK using wings. So 2.5 seconds compared to 4 seconds, really there's no difference in my opinion. I don't feel a difference. Some people say that they feel a difference, but I don't. So we're using Shuffle for the added major evasion, and we don't need major brutality from forward momentum because we have our Netch giving us major brutality. Major brutality is giving us, Netch is giving us 400 stamina regen. So we definitely want Netch dispatch. Ice Fortress, minor protection, and our armor buff. Reverb Bash. So Stamina Warden, unlike the other classes, does not have access to a class-based CC. So you need to get your CC from a weapon line. For example, like Stam Sork has Streak, it has Rune Cage, Stam DK has Petrify, Stam Nightblade has Cloak, Surprise Attack, or Fear, and Stamplars have their Javelin as stun, where Stamina Wardens have this Arctic Wind skill, the other morph. It scales off your max magicka, and it's just too expensive to run on a Stamina Warden. You have a lot of other abilities costing you a lot of magicka, so you're not going to be able to sustain this as a CC. So you need to get your CC from a weapon line. So your 3 options are going to be Dizzying, this Draining Shot, or Sword and Board Reverb. Now, Dizzying is good. The issue with it is that Major Expedition has been nerfed this patch, so we're not getting Major Expedition from other sources. We're not using Major Expedition pots this patch, so you're basically going to be moving in slow motion, and people are going to be able to block this and dodge this really, really easily. That's why we're not using Dizzying. Next, the Bow Skill. I do like this ability. It was buffed, 41 meters now. The issue with this is that the passives I don't like. They're not that good. You're not going to be able to survive with a bow, whereas compared to a sword and board. This Hasty Retreat is good, but dodge rolling to get Major Expedition is kind of expensive, and it's only 4 seconds. Instead, we're using Sword and Board Reverb Bash. Great CC, also applies Major Defile. The Major Defile used to be 10 seconds, now it's 4 seconds, which is a pretty big hit, but Major Defiles were nerfed across the board, so it's still really, really strong. Okay. Obviously, Soothing Spores, great stamina burst heal. Figure, every stamina class uses this. And then finally we have Trees. Trees is to save our butt in emergency situations. And then I think I forgot to mention we have DB, the one that stuns. Okay, so let's look at the stats fully buffed. I should still have, where is it? Continuous attack, 37 seconds, okay. Drink a potion. So fully buffed, we're at 28 stam, 21 health, 48.5 weapon crit, 2800 stamina recovery, plus an additional 400 from Netch, so that's 3200 stamina recovery. 1800 crit resist, and then 1800 resists on the front bar, on the back bar 20k resists. So really good stats overall. Our weapon damage goes a little bit higher. I'm going to lose my continuous attack, but our weapon damage, I need a mob. Well, I guess I don't need a mob. Our weapon damage right now is 3.85, but with our infused glyph, it'll go above 4k, about 4.2k. Plus 4.2k weapon damage with 50% critical strike chance is really, really high burst. So statistically speaking, that's either your sub-assault critting or your dawnbreaker critting. And that's why I really, really like Hunding's Rage, because Stamina Warden and like Stamina Nightblade are classes with a high burst, where Stamina Nightblade has Incap and Merciless Resolve, whereas Warden has Sub-Assault and Dawnbreaker. If you're critting one of those, chances are the other person is going to die. You only need to crit one because they're both going to hit at the exact same time. That's why Weapon Crit is really, really good for those two classes in my opinion, especially in no CP. So now let's talk about the CP, or I'm sorry, the Battlegrounds build. So this was our open world no CP build. Now let's go to the Battlegrounds build. The sets are going to stay the exact same. 2 blood spawn, 5 Hundings, daggers, sword and board backbar still, and then Spriggans, triple infused, all in pen. The sets are going to stay the same. The only thing that's changing is the skills. So let's talk about the skills. We're still running Subterranean Assault. We have our Magic of Flex. I'm using Time Stop, more on that later. Caltrops for zone denial and a huge snare, 70% for 3 seconds when it's initially exploded, and then 30% later on. Great for high MMR when you need a reposition where teams are going to try to sandwich you and whatnot. Still have Steel Tornado, best execute in the game, and then we have Bone Surge. I really like this ability, really underrated in high MMR where teams stack together. So the synergy for the skill, like the activation range, is really, really small. It's about 3 meters around you. So you basically have to be like shoulder to shoulder to activate the synergy. But the synergy actually spreads to about the shield that it gives to everybody once it's activated is actually about the size of Vigor. So everybody around that radius will get the shield, and it's a total of 6 targets, where in Battlegrounds it's going to be 4. So everybody on your team is going to be getting a shield. Really underrated, and then I'm using the one that gives everybody major vitality, increasing healing received. It's really, really good if you see a team kind of about to initiate into you. It's kind of like a preemptive Restal kind of, where you activate this when a team is rushing into you, and your team will most likely survive the burst. Also, the shield lasts 6 seconds, which is plenty of time. We still have Dawnbreaker. So our combo for killing people is we're kind of like a support, and then when it's time to deal damage, it's Subterranean, Dawnbreaker, Spin to win. Let's go to the back bar. We still have Ice Fortress, Minor Protection, Bullnetch, our source of major brutality and giving us stamina return. And then finally we have Shuffle again. This time it's on the back bar, giving us major evasion and our access to remove snares. Soothing Spores, again, allowing us to heal our teammates. Vigor, great heal over time, also allowing us to heal our teammates. And then our back bar ultimate has changed. So previously we were using trees, now we are using Permafrost. Permafrost is great, it's giving everybody in your team major protection, and it'll also stun them. You can kind of use it to engage, you can use it defensively, you can use it to go from defense to offense. It's just a great ultimate in high MMR, where your team is most likely going to be with you. Okay, so that is the no CP Battlegrounds build. The sets were the same, the food was the same, the Mundus was the same. The pots are going to be different. You can use these if you want the extra crit, but since we're not really bursting people down, since we're not doing like consistent damage, we're just kind of doing our ulti dump. The pots are going to be changing to Essence of Immovability. There's a lot of root spam and snare spam and just a bunch of bullshit right now in Battlegrounds in the high MMR bracket, so you need to have immunity to knockback and disabling effects. So you want to CC break. Your CC break immunity I think lasts 4 to 6 seconds, and then after that 4 to 6 seconds you want to pop the immovable as well to bring back your immunity. You don't want to double up on the immunity because you're going to be losing seconds. Okay, so that's the Battlegrounds no CP build. Now let's go to CP so I can show you my CP open world Stamina Warden build. So for the CP build, the skills and the sets are going to be changing, and more on that here in a bit. So CP, naturally, crit resist is going to be higher. Everybody has impreg, everybody has impenetrable from CP. So obviously we're not going to be using Hunting's Rage anymore. Let me teleport somewhere. This is fine. We're probably going to have to reload UI, but we'll see. So with that said, we're going to replace Hunting's Rage for a different set, and I'll talk about what that set is and why we're running it, and not another set that used to be really good. I want to get the buff from the mine continuous attack so I can show you my full stats. We don't have amp here, do we? Oh, no we don't, definitely not. Actually, we might have amp. No, we don't. Okay. So, let's talk about what's changing. Start with the sets first. So in CP, we now have Pirate Skeleton instead of Bloodspawn. Again, in medium, 5 medium, 2 heavy. Why are we using Pirate Skeleton and not Bloodspawn? The reason why I like Pirate Skeleton is that it was changed a couple patches ago that it's now when you take damage to your health and not when you take any damage. That was changed for sorcerers. For sorcerers, we're using this set, and to combat that nerf, what ZeniMax decided to do was they decided to increase the proc chance from 6% to 8%. We're not using any damage shields, so that's an indirect buff to us. Also, the minor defile is negligible. We're a Stamina Warden and we have tons of healing. Chances are in 1vx you're probably going to be minor defiled by like some bullshit set anyways. So that's, that has no impact. The next set, we're still using Spriggans, all in pen. I just think Spriggans is really good. Like I said, it's working versus damage shields now. It's also got the best 2 through 4 bonuses in my opinion. Max stam, weapon damage. You're not going to find anything better than that. Okay, the jewelry is still the same. All infused, stamina recovery, weapon damage. Okay, the new set that we're using is Fortified Brass. Heavy chest, heavy legs, all try and chat. Well, actually, no, not all try and chat. This one is max stam. But we have try and chat on the big pieces. The helmet was still max stam. Okay, so try and chat on Fortified Brass, all in pen as well. And then we have daggers again, Nirnhoned, precise, disease, shock, just like last time. Infused weapon damage, just like last time, and then sword and board stamina in pen, just like last time. Why do I like Fortified Brass and not Impreg? So Impreg has been known as kind of like the go-to defensive CP set. The reason why I don't like Impreg anymore is because it got nerfed from 2500 crit resist to 2000 crit resist. It's actually a lot considering that that's basically 2 in-pen pieces, right? 258, 258. I mean, that's a pretty big nerf. That's basically like having 2 well-fitted now instead of 2 in-pen. I like fortified brass. It makes us really, really tanky. You can look at our stats unbuffed. We're at 26, and we'll talk more about the stats here in a bit. Let's talk about the skills first. Okay, I need to get this buff. Okay, there's somebody here. So we're still using Subterranean, bread and butter, major fracture for 5 seconds. Now we have Shimmering Shield instead of Vines for the CP PvP open world and not the no CP open world. Reason being is because we aren't using Bloodspawn. So Bloodspawn was giving us a source of ultimate regen. Since we don't have Bloodspawn and now we have Pirate Skeleton, we are now using Shimmering Shield to give us some sort of ultimate generation. Still using Cutting Dive, great spammable. It got buffed in Nerfmire. It got buffed in Murkmire, and it's still proccing us a passive heal, and it's giving us ultimate as well. Steel Tornado, still the best execute. And then finally, Shuffle, giving us major evasion, 25%, and it's also our source of removing snares. And then we have DB, the one that stuns and gives us a little bit extra weapon damage. Back bar, a little bit has changed. We used to have Reverb Bash, now we have Channeled Acceleration instead. I really like this ability. Reason being is that every 10 seconds while blocking, I'm getting a 5k shield for free basically. There's no cost of this. Still using, we're still using Spores and we're still using Vigor. When we're taking a lot of pressure, typically you're gonna block Spores, dodge roll Vigor, and then that you're basically gonna be good to go. Okay. We still have trees. Open world, I like trees. Battlegrounds, I like permafrost. Okay, let's look at the stats. I need to take this resource. I'm on 80. Okay, anyways. We're not gonna have... Is there another resource I can go to? Probably not. Okay, we're not gonna have... continuous attack for this stats. But let's talk about what they are. I just don't want to get ganked while I'm doing a build video. So, with my potion fully buffed, we are at, without continuous attack, 2.4k stamina regen, 50% weapon crit, 3.9k weapon damage once we proc our infused weapon damage enchant. Our physical risks on the front bar are 26k, 26k. On the back bar, 29, 29. And what we're not considering is, oh, that's actually incorrect. Plus one off. So they're actually 35k, which is above the cap, but it doesn't matter because you're going to get major fractured, and major fractured will subtract that. So you're still going to be pretty much at the cap. You're going to be at 30k roughly once you're major fractured. So even though we are over the resistance cap, it's not going to matter. On the front bar, we are at the resistance cap at 31.5. Now, we also, with that, we also have our major evasion, 25% reduced damage from AoEs, and then on top of that, we have our pirate skeleton giving us major protection for 12 seconds. So we are going to be really, really, really tanky in this build. Nobody is going to be killing us alone. Channeled acceleration, and then with a shuffle will allow you to get away from most zergs. So that's a good combo. Those skills complement one another really well. So those are the builds. We've gone over the no CP open world, we've gone over the CP battlegrounds, and then we've gone over the CP open world build. The last thing that I want to do is I want to just talk about some general stamped in tips that you can use. Let's go to my home first. Sorry, this build video is pretty long, but it has 3 builds in one, so I expect it to be long, and that's fine. I want to go to my home. Where is it? Oh, is it in Artaeum? What? Okay, I guess I can travel from Citadel to my house. That's fine. So I want to talk about hiding your Subterranean assault, because against good players, if you sub assault in front of them and they see the cast, they're gonna block, they're gonna dodge roll, and you're not gonna be able to one-shot them versus good players. So you need to get around that by animation canceling your Subterranean assault. So here is the normal cast. You can see it's very, very obvious. It's the hand smacking the ground. If you block cancel it, the hand will go to your waist. So it doesn't hit the ground all the way, as it did before, but it's still very, very noticeable. So another way to animation cancel it, the second best way in my opinion is to dodge roll cancel it, so it'll look like this. It's very discreet, people won't notice it. The issue with that is that you're wasting stamina in order to show it, and I think my food went off, that's okay. You're wasting stamina in order to animation cancel it. So kind of like how when you intuitively dodge roll figure, if you see like a crystal frag coming at you, or you see like slowed semblance coming at you, you can do a dodge roll Subterranean. And as you play Stammed more and more, you'll get used to that. Okay, the best way in my opinion to cancel your Subterranean is to simply bar swap it. It's free, you don't have to waste any stamina, it's very discreet as well, and it's gonna go into our combo that I'm gonna show you here in a bit. So let me go to my house. So the combo is basically gonna be Subterranean bar swap, light attack to get our weapon damage enchant procced, our infused 458 weapon damage, and then we're gonna go back bar swap again. We're gonna do a light attack birds. If they're not in range to light attack, that's fine. So it'll just be a bird then. And then it's going to be a light attack Dawnbreaker. And then your Subterranean and your Dawnbreaker will be going off at the exact same time. Your bird is going to be hitting them at the exact same time. So they're going to be dropped down to like 10% health. Most likely they'll be dead. Let me show you that here. So it's going to be Subterranean bar swap, or light attack, cutting dive, and then Dawnbreaker. Let me build my ultimate and I can show you in full speed. Oh, and you can also throw in some bashes in there as well, if they're not dying fast enough. Okay, so the combo, here we go. Subterranean, light attack, bird, Dawnbreaker, bash. Oh, my Dawnbreaker didn't go off. Wow, I'm lagging really bad. But that is the combo. Sorry about the lag. I want to end the video because it's getting pretty long. We're almost at 30 minutes. Yeah, so the cutting dive, this Dawnbreaker, and the Subterranean will be going off at the exact same time if you're not lagging. Alright guys, that's the build video. I hope you enjoyed. This is my first build video for the channel, so I really appreciate it if you subscribe if you want future content. Also, I'm going to be taking this video directly from my Twitch VOD. I am streaming right now at twitch.tv/timedazzler. Come check it out. And thanks for watching. Happy holidays. I wish everybody has a great Christmas.